It's
Yeah,
great
it just opened last week, and it's running until April 10th.
Right on.
And it's a wonderful exhibition with great paintings.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know you've brought also some photographs for us to check out some of the
There
great
is, yeah,
work too.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Jane Eccles?
Sure. Jane has been based here in Durham region. She taught at Bowmanville High School
Really?
for about three decades.
Wow.
So, and she's been based here for about 40 years. So she started this wonderful series called the Dresses Project. And here you can see
Yeah.
she's borrowed dresses, in this case Margaret Atwood's dress that she purchased in Australia when she was writing her very famous novel Cat's Eye.
Wow.
And this is one of the more flamboyant pieces. This piece is the very first one that started out the Dresses Project. It's called the Sally Ann dress, and this was something that she bought at the Salvation Army.
No kidding.
And she hung it up in her window, in her studio window, and liked it so much that she started painting these dresses. And from that came out this wonderful series of something like 40 or 45 paintings. She's also depicted these women that have been very inspirational to her.
Right.
In this case, it's Sammy Jo Small,
Yeah.
who of course was the goaltender for the women's hockey when they took gold a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And here can you recognize who that is?
Silken Lauman.
It is.
Yeah.
It's Silken.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so she's not only depicting their garments, but she's depicting them in figuratively.
Very, very cool that this is very, very iconic to Canadian women too. And
Yeah,
you know,
certainly.
that's really cool.
Yeah, certainly.
What's the inspiration that she gets from that? I mean, depicting these women.
She's just inspired by their stories, and for each one of the paintings, she writes a page about the woman and captures her story in a very interesting way.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too is this is an artist based right out of here in the DR too. I mean,
Sure.
Bowmanville, Ontario.
Yeah, and she's been considered a regional artist for all these years, and yet last month she appeared on the front page of the Toronto Star with this project.
Wow.
And this is the first time I think that anything like this has ever happened for a living Canadian artist. And it was just embraced by the media, and it's just...
And you got to love that the inspiration, as you said, was from this one dress from Salvation Army hanging in the window. It must have been that light, the thought, and boom.
Precisely.
It's such an original idea, you know, to paint a drawing of clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not only a painting of a garment, but it also has the landscape in behind. There's the changing seasons of what's happening on her street, and it's sort of the intersection of portraiture and landscape and
How
still life
Canadian, how
as well.
very, you know, when you say portraiture and landscape, I think of Alex Colville or you know, other iconic Canadian painters like that as well too.
And she's actually stated that those have been very influential for particularly Alex Colville.
Wow. See, and that, I thought that instantly seeing her work.
Yeah.
You know, I think of that stuff because if these pieces are about where she lives and the items in her life, I think the same thing with someone like Alex Colville in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, that sort of feel. Now, you're about to shoot, come on, I've got a little bit of ADD, so I'm a little excited. There's something that we've got to unwrap here.
Well, as you know, Christian, I always like to come on with something shrouded in this black cloth, right?
Shrouded in mystery. You're see,
Remember the last time I was here, I had deer that were shrouded under here. But
That's
now,
true.
But now I've got something else.
Okay, here we go.
This is a piece that is an original piece done by Jane Eccles.
okay, wow. So now we've got, well, a doll. So is there anything here in the, what's the story behind this
Yeah,
piece?
what's the connection?
Well, here we can see that it's a doll, and then in the background we see silver dollars, which are, I don't know. I like
Maybe
to,
we turn it just a tad over to camera 2 here, or to 2. There we go.
is that the one?
Does one
that's
see it a
good.
bit better?
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah.
beautiful.
Perfect.
Nice.
Beautiful.
This is a piece that Jane has very generously donated to the gallery for our Drawing for Art fundraiser, which is coming up in April. It'll be on the final day of April. We'll
This
have
could
the
be one
actual
of the
draw.
pieces. Like, explain it, because that's amazing. Explain to
Sure,
everybody
yeah.
about the cost. It's a great fundraiser.
It sure is, and for $200, you're guaranteed to walk away with an original piece of artwork, and we have 100 to choose from, and this will be one of the works that will be on the block on
And
that day.
I'm sure Jane will probably be there that evening too.
She sure will.
So how
yeah.
cool is that? Not only you may be able to get this piece, but you're going to be going home with a
another
great,
one.
An original piece of it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And remember last year when you came in to show us some of the pieces, and I'm sure you'll be coming in again to show us some of the unbelievable works that you were giving away with this.
It's the full range. You get drawing, painting, sculpture, jewelry, clay, pottery, everything.
Exactly. Now, anything else happening right now in Station Gallery that we must? It's the must-see of the DR.
It's certainly it's a runaway blockbuster with Jane Eccles, but in addition, we also have a March break camp that's coming up.
Right on.
Already booked up. You know,
Wow.
it's a real blockbuster as well.
And you were mentioning with the women and the inspiration, there's also a connection with International Women's Day.
Yes, there
Ties
is.
in?
Yeah, and that is tomorrow, and it was interesting because when this exhibition was planned, it was planned 2 years ago, and then it was just last month.
Serendipitous.
Yeah, it just 2 months ago. I was on Wikipedia or something. I put in International Women's Day, and lo and behold, tomorrow is the 100th anniversary of
Wow.
International Women's Day. What a perfect way to overlap with Jane's
Yeah,
exhibition.
for sure. Got to ask you a quick question, Alex. We just under a minute left. How do you think the kids are doing with art in the DR? And then, it's always been, it's such an arty community. I think that's a really strong word. Music and painting and food. I got to say that's important to me, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
How are we doing? Like, how's the community as a whole? We're really involved in the arts, aren't we?
I think that people are starting to look at us more and more nationally. There's so many examples of how much the creative economy is doing wonders here
Right.
in the community. And I mean, the example that Jane Eccles being the very first artist to be on the Toronto Star is saying a lot for our community
That's
and the
right.
creativity that exists here.
Fantastic, and all that exposure to, Olex, fantastic. To learn more, you can go to our website, www.rogerstv.com/Daytime Durham, and you can get more information on the Station Gallery there, and anything else you'll need. And up next, we're cooking with Chef Jose Mendoza of the Lake Grill in Whitby.